Okay, we're going to be talking to the camera now because I didn't like the voiceover stuff. Now, behind me, which is a bit blurry, but it'll be in focus in a second, we've got brambles the whole way along there, good sort of 8 to 10 meters of brambles. We've got a digger coming in because where we've been digging this stuff out by hand, it's taking forever, and we need to get this job started properly so that we can actually change this garden a bit this summer, because we've been here for years now. We've always had this sort of wasteland that we'd spend the summers in eating our dinners at the table, and we want to just get it cleared, get the walls in, get some gravel down and make it nice. So this is the year. So we've got a digger coming in not this weekend, the weekend after. So what we've got to do first is get all of this cleared so that we can have a level playing field. And also buried in there is a load of rock, and we need that rock to build this part of the wall, which is going to be the dry stone wall from this point here onwards, and it's going to be a cinder block wall that way, which will all become clear. So yeah, we need to get those out, but we need to be a digger to be able to get to those. So we're going to pull all the overgrowth back and give ourselves a fighting chance of getting this job done in 2 weekends. There we go. So that's about 10 or 15 minutes of clearing. Doesn't probably look like much in the camera, but it's a full brown bin. It's always amazing how much you can shove in those things, because the floor here was absolutely full, but it all crushes down nicely. So you can see here, lots of rock in there. So I'll be pulling all that out. While we've got the digger, I'll probably do the bulk of pulling the rocks all this way. We're going to level this out, pull the rocks this way, and then I can just drop them down here, roll them to one side, and then they're kind of where I need them to be then be building this wall. Have all the rocks behind me. We've got a big rock pile just over there. There's rocks all over the property, in fact, so we're going to be gathering them up. It's a good way of just consolidating and getting rid of a lot of those rocks. So yeah, nice wall. Level this bit here out. You can see it is at a slight angle. But again, that angle is steeper than it should be because of all the spoil that got thrown here when they were excavating. We actually excavated a lot of this. We'll talk about that in another video, but yeah, we're going to level this, and from here, these trees actually need to come down because they're too close to the house. We already took them down a few years ago, and all that growth, sorry, sun's in my eyes, but all that growth was about 4 years, I think it's been. So I'm not too fussed about bringing them down again because I know they'll grow, and we'll kind of let them grow up and then come down and kind of use them as a bit of a coppice. We're going to do lots of work up here, whole extra garden over there. We're going to be doing a terrace here with hopefully an olive tree and a fig tree, and then like lavender and gravel, basically, because it's an awkward space, and once the wall's here it's going to be awkward to get to. I'll show you from the other angle. Here you go. So you can see from this angle, I'm going to this weekend be taking all of this bramble out all the way up to there. Now the wall will probably end somewhere here. We'll sort of taper it, have it just sort of slowly grow until it comes around the corner, and then put a fence post there so we can do a bit of a fence line across there, and then that will become hopefully 2 terraces with another little stone wall in the middle, and use them sort of like a little Mediterranean vibe. We're going to do a whole sort of, not Mediterranean, but sun garden, because this doesn't look like it now because of these trees, but the garden is a bit of a sun trap. Once those trees are out of the way, the sun will flood back down there. And yeah, olive trees, stone wall, lovely stuff. The other problem we're having at this time of year is horseflies. There are thousands of them on our field, but they seem to live in the longer grass. So another reason to get rid of all this is brambles, grass, it's all the same to them. There should hopefully be less horseflies down here once we've cleared that whole patch. And you can see behind me, this grass here is clear. There's a lot of long grass over in the meadows and the orchard. And you can see a horsefly around me now. So we will be reducing the grass near to the house as much as possible. I'm literally being bitten while I'm talking about it. I'm gonna get out the sun. They don't tend to come right down here, but it is annoying when you're just trying to get things done in the garden and you're being constantly bitten. So yeah, reduce that height in the grass and the nettles and brambles and everything else. And hopefully we push them back into the field a bit further. We're never gonna get rid of them, but we can hopefully build a bit of a barrier. Well, we've been trying to avoid the horsefly all day, and we really need to get this bramble patch cleared. Just down the side here, this is all the bits that we're going to be digging away with the digger when that comes, and it's just going to make life a lot easier if the whole lot's gone. There's all the rocks in the top there that we want to be pulling back, and if we've got time with the digger, it'd be great to build our 2 terraces. Well, too high. I'll build our 2 terraces here and here while we've got it, so we don't have to hire it again. So horseflies are gone. It does feel like it's about to rain, but we're going to crack on and try and cut as much of this back as possible. Another day, another crack at these brambles. I'm massively overdressed today to try and stop these horsefly from biting me, but we'll see how that goes. You can hopefully see that we've cleared all the way through to the log pile. I can come over here. My daughter fell in the nettles over there, which is why I'm stopping. She's okay for now, creamed her up, but I need to go and deal with that. But we cleared this entire patch here. I would say this is probably something like, oh, it's a good 6 by 8 meter patch that we've just done in this one little sitting. And you can see here that this is the rocks that we're uncovering. I think it's actually a pile I made last time we did this job. There's loads more. There's a lump of concrete sticking out there. All this uneven ground that you can tell. This pile here, that's all being cut, but I've just left it there to dry in the sun for a couple of days, and then we'll burn it midweek, but that's in a big dip. There's probably a foot deep, and you can see up there it's probably 2 foot higher than it is down there. All this undulation is all rocks covered in spoil, so we need to get the digger up to this point and just start scraping it, moving it side to side, uncovering the rocks, knocking them to one side, leveling it out, basically powder the soil here. And then that should mean that we can kind of go through with a pitchfork and just stab it in, lift out and pull out loads and loads of these roots, because the roots, we've done this job a lot of times. You see, you get these little clusters like that, and that would have been growing out and spreading really far. Once you pull that cluster out, there are lots of them, but it's amazing how quickly you can clear a space. So once we rake this over with the digger, I think it's a big job, but it's going to be a quick difference to this whole space. Look at the size of that rock there. And then we'll have to clear that whole patch there so that we can get the digger down here when we drive in. And then hopefully we'll also get some topsoil in, and we'll be able to grade that properly, because it's all very undulating and we can't ride the mower on it. But if we can grade that at the same time, we'll be able to get the ride-on mower up and down here, and just stop these thistles growing. Nettles, thistles, brambles. Stop all of them growing back. We've got this lot still to go, which is nowhere near as big as the patch I just did. So we'll do that tomorrow night. Maybe have a fire on Friday evening, ready to go for Saturday with the diggers. Well, as you can see, we didn't quite finish the job. We got all that cut, as you've seen in the time lapses. The last patch is still there, but we are currently in the middle of a second or third heat wave, and it's been in the early, like 30, 31, 32 degrees out here. So that, coupled with the horseflies I keep going on about, have just put a stop to this project for this weekend. We've delayed the digger and the dumper for another week, so that'll be coming next weekend. So in some of the evenings it's going to be a little bit cooler, in the early 20s maybe. So we'll come out, finish this. We weren't able to have a fire in this heat anyway, so we'll finish all this, burn up all the brambles, clear the site, and it'll actually give us a bit more time to mark off, get some string lines put in so that we know where our terraces are going to be. So it's a little bit less rushed this way. But that's not the way we wanted to end the video. We wanted to end it with a nice bonfire or something as the sunset, but we will do that later in the week, and it can be the end of the next video, I guess. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and follow along. It's going to get really interesting now that we're getting down to the actual ground and where the rocks are, and we're going to get the digger in, and everything's going to start ramping up, and it's going to be really cool. So yeah, and you'll hopefully get to see us use our rock chute, which is what I've set up for getting some of the smaller rocks from the top to the bottom without having to chuck them. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. You're not supposed to be there.